I'm in favor of the death penalty, I'm telling you honestly. Yeah, and I'm not the only one. Because if you take a life, well, you pay for it in two ways.
Hello everyone, today I'm in Florence in the Gers region. And it's in this small town that Lyhanna, 11 years old, was abducted by a 41-year-old man already known to the authorities for acts of pedophilia. 6 complaints against him, 9 legal proceedings. And so he allegedly, now keep in mind he is still presumed innocent, he allegedly abducted her in front of the middle school here at 3 p.m. And Lyhanna was later found in a silo 15 kilometers from here. This has shaken the whole region, of course, maybe even all of France. We're going to go see what's happening on the ground. Follow me, let's go. But before we start this report, my friends, I want to talk to you about today's partner. And this is a partner I care about a lot, it's close to my heart. It's Editions Phoenix. The books are here and part of the library. I love books and grew up surrounded by them. My father was a printer. And here we have Editions Phoenix, a wonderful collection made in France, which deals with historical topics, the history of France. Important topics, for example, here we have The History of France by Jacques Bainville, Napoleon by Jacques Bainville, Clovis, the French Revolution, Charlemagne, Joan of Arc, Louis XIVth century, the Crusades in Europe, Philip Augustus's era, Vercingetorix, and more. Don't hesitate, and besides, Father's Day is coming up, it's next Sunday. So if you want to give a nice gift to your husband, your son, your father, well, this is the perfect opportunity. Editions Phoenix offers you this collection. I'll take a book, Napoleon by Jacques Bainville, for example. Look at the beautiful illustration on the front cover. That alone sets the tone. With a hardcover, of course. And then it smells like a book. I love that smell. You have to make books. I have this physical relationship with the book, so a perfect weight, quality paper, with a font that's big enough, which means these are books to read, not just to show off. That's important. You won't strain your eyes reading these books. And that's a detail that matters to me, since I actually read the books I buy. Phoenix Publishing had the good idea to double their collection with a royal edition, which I have here. Look, I have 2 copies, Jacques Bainville's Napoleon in the royal edition, double embossing. Look, you can see the embossing on the cover. It's the same book, just made with slightly better quality. There are illustrations inside the book. For example, here, Bonaparte at Toulon, 1793, the painting by Victor Florence Paulette. You see, so... The book is filled with illustrations. Really, these are quality books that I recommend to you. Phoenix Editions also supports heritage restoration via the Fondation du Patrimoine and the local economy. If you love French history, books, and literature like I do, click the link in the pinned comment and description. Go visit the Phoenix Editions website. For Father's Day, the entire History and Antiquities collection is 40 euros and the collector's editions are 60 euros. Plus, worldwide relays delivery is only 1 cent. It's really the perfect time to give a piece of French history in a beautiful format made here at home. So, check it out. Let someone explore France's rich history with Phoenix Editions. Plus, if you do it, if you buy a book, Phoenix Editions will see that my community is responsive. And so, it might allow me to do more collaborations with them in the future. Don't hesitate. As for us, we're starting this report. Let's go. I'm here with Clément. Clément, who is with me and lives here.
Now, yeah, hello.
Hello, Clément. We're in front of the middle school, right? Yes.
It's right in front of the middle school, with the entrance over there. The big square out front is where the Memorial March makes its first stop. Like the medical square where parents removed their t-shirts, showing their daughter's photo, etc. And hung them on the door. And so it's a symbolic area because that's where she was taken right away.
Here we are, right in front of the middle school. I think so.
Afterward, we don't know if she was taken further down or not, but it's definitely in front of the middle school.
She was leaving the middle school at 3 p.m. and this man, who knew the family...
That's right.
He's the father of one of Lyhanna's friends. That's right. He managed to get her into his car. That's it.
That's it. That's the story.
And then Lyhanna was found 15 kilometers further.
That's right. A few days later. So yes.
He's still presumed innocent. We need to make that clear. But still, we have strong suspicions.
That's for sure. He doesn't talk or anything. So it's true that it's complicated. Yeah. Especially since all the evidence converges. It all points to him. Every time. So that's it. But he doesn't want to talk. He was even put in isolation because he doesn't talk and he needs to be kept safe.
All right. Let's go take a look. This is where the bouquets of flowers were placed, right in front of the school, at the foot of this little pine tree. In tribute to Lyhanna and to all the children who were victims, I suppose, we can't see the message that's behind the stuffed animal. In any case, it highlighted, and it was even said by Darmanin, the Minister of the Interior, by Macron and so on, it highlighted all the flaws in the justice system. Since he was known for acts of pedophilia, several times he faced justice for that, and despite all that, he was still out, and that's exactly the point that's shocking.
The worst part is he had never faced justice until this case, when they arrested him and revealed things about him.
There were complaints,
There were complaints, but they were never handled. That's when the scandal started, because there were rumors that the prosecutor in Auch, well, I don't know exactly, but the files weren't passed on, they weren't handled. Other rumors included police in another girl's case and a different mother filing a complaint for her daughter, among others. And apparently she got responses like, "Stop harassing us, otherwise just file a report" or something. That's what came out in the first days of the case. So actually nothing was handled at all. It's not even clear if it was brought to the attention of the justice system, if there were complaints and they were just set aside. Supposedly it takes time, that the person has to be summoned last, etc. I think that's a bit too easy, because if he's summoned last, he has time to do whatever he wants. And proof is, that's where we are today.
How long ago was it the first reports about this person, specifically?
There are rumors, but I always call them rumors because we can't be sure. With social media, you have to be skeptical. But there are things that say he already had some and that he was strange since 2010, because he lived in Auch, which is a town 25 kilometers from here. He lived over there, but he already had suspicious behavior with little. Well, it's more about a lot of testimonies that are starting to come out and everything. And then apparently he hung around in a school setting near Lector, which is a small village 11 kilometers from here. And there he was reported. He was sidelined because he had messages with minors from where he worked, etc. So it's maybe even been a decade or even more that this guy he's been suspicious, and all of this under the radar. I mean, even if he was fired or whatever, I don't understand how. There wasn't any investigation or anything, nothing. They can't make excuses by saying that it takes time to process. Because the complaint was filed in 1 month and they handled it in another. It's not acceptable, it's not acceptable.
Damn, it's unbelievable, and at the same time, not surprising at all, unfortunately. I wish I could be surprised, but it's just not surprising. The justice system is overwhelmed, the French justice system is absolutely overwhelmed, quick for some cases and extremely slow and outrageously so for others. Which, however, seem more important to us than tweets. I saw that there were people who went to pray in front of a church to protest against a concert that was taking place in a church in Paris. They went to pray in front of the church to protest against that, and the guys were taken into custody right away, etc. Big police mobilization, I think, 20 brave motorcycle officers, etc. Even though they're just people praying, right?
I agree that all topics should be addressed, but I think there's still an order of importance to certain topics. And just like at the Memorial March, the mayor gave a speech at the end that I thought was very fair. Even though I'm usually hard to convince, in general and all that. I thought the speech was perfect and got everyone to agree.
Recently, some have tried to defend the system by portraying Lyhanna, Florence, the Auch prosecutor, and the Lector gendarmes as merely individual failures. Make no mistake, this is a societal failure, nothing less. Lyhanna shouldn't be the last straw that breaks the camel's back, but rather the drop that overturns the whole vase.
Yes, no, but this is just one case too many. How many were there before Melis, all that? How many have there been? There's just too much leniency, actually, even when they find the people. I mean, the sentences, it's not terrifying, really. Anyone can do it again. There's just too much leniency, actually.
It's unbelievable, really. Unbelievable. So guys, we're having all these thoughts in front of Hubert Reeves Middle School. Hubert Reeves, I know him well. I know of him. I read Stardust back in middle school, actually. He's a well-known astronomer, a really great book. By the way, I'm looking for something right now. Clément, tell me if you can confirm this, but I don't see any cameras in front of the school.
That's what I was looking for too, because, I don't come by here often since it's a bit out of the way from the...
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see any cameras in front of the school where Lyhanna was taken, because actually...
They're usually on poles.
Even with all the taxes we pay, this should be automatic. schools should automatically have a camera at the exit. It should literally be automatic,
Maybe I'm wrong after all.
right? But maybe we're wrong, but I feel like we're not wrong, unfortunately. Thomas, tell me, okay, if you see a camera, I'd like you to film it. You see, I'll tell you, the camera should be there, and I'll even tell you I'd put 2 of them if I were president of this country. I'd make it mandatory. You see, I'd make it mandatory. I'd make sure there were laws so there would be cameras in front of the guy. But it's obvious, there are no laws. I'm shocked. Camera here, camera there. We've allegedly been on Vigipirate alert for decades.
You know, it's someone who said they thought they saw her in a car. The little girl, you know. It's a witness from the neighborhood, or I don't know by what miracle. Honestly, it's a miracle. I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't any cameras when you look at the front of the place.
Or they're maintained, or maybe they're just well hidden.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
I don't know what that is, that thing down there, that's right. I think it's an entry camera. It looks like a camera filming just the threshold. It films the threshold.
It's a bit thin, though.
Well, no, obviously you have to film the street. It's obvious. You don't need to be Einstein to understand that. Anyway, well, listen, we'll keep going, okay? So Lyhanna, according to the most plausible hypothesis for now, got into this person's car. And we don't know if it was under duress or not. And then she was seen for the last time by a surveillance camera.
Further away, towards the pool and the lake, there's a small lake and a children's playground nearby, and there's also a pool there. And apparently, she was seen in this person's car, and since she was wearing a pretty distinctive outfit, etc., even according to the reports and everything, to find her, they spotted, according to the camera in the car, and that's how they were able to quickly track back. But we don't have any info saying that she got out, because apparently when the alleged culprit was arrested, he said he dropped her off in front of the pool.
Yeah, that's it. That's his version of the story. He says, I dropped her off in front of the municipal pool. And apparently that contradicts other facts. That's right, especially those seen by the camera.
That's right. And even according to what I read, apparently at first, he denied picking her up or anything until the investigators showed him the surveillance camera video.
That's when he said,
That's when he was caught. He couldn't lie anymore with the evidence in front of him.
then the surveillance cameras caught him. Some mayors in France still want to remove surveillance cameras.
For me, if you have nothing to hide, you don't care about the cameras around you. Honestly, that's it.
Because it's actually pretty good.
Well, that's the proof. That proves it. Otherwise, he'd still be out having fun.
It was really the cameras that caught him there.
But the unclear part still is because apparently she left the middle school earlier and all that. It's all the gray areas. We still don't understand how she could have left. And him, how did he know? If she left earlier, how, that means it was premeditated anyway. The person who did this either knew.
It was planned or opportunistic.
Maybe. That's, yeah, for sure. Well, all possibilities are on the table. But, well, I mean, it's certain that he had, for me, he had the desire to do worse than what he was already doing.
We're going to see the famous camera that's a 10-minute walk away. That's it, exactly. Wait, before we leave, let's check out that war memorial. I enjoy visiting war memorials in central France. And not only the heart of France, the town of Florence and its children who died on the field of honor, 1914 to 1918, 1939 to 1945, with a young soldier whose nose is broken like the Sphinx. It's beautiful, this war memorial, with all the names there around it. They even added the Indochina War. Monty, Prochon, Faget, Gavazier, Gisot, Labédan, Lacoste, Lagarrigue, Lone, Salès, Trémoulet, all these men who died for France. Morat, Morin, Mouly, Pomès, Perrier, Rival, Robert, Sauced, all right. Frenchmen who died for France. It's really very peaceful here, you know, Clément. It's even very beautiful. This place, yes, surrounded by trees.
Like I said, it's a little haven of peace, basically, you know. Well, it's Wednesday afternoon. The kids aren't in school right now, yet it's completely silent with no noise at all. Well, at least these days too, because the parents, you can feel there's some restraint now from the parents. There aren't little kids going out on their own anymore or anything like that.
There's yes, but well...
In general, it's still calm like that.
You know, despite everything, what I can say, me, who's caught up in the chaos most of the time, is that here you find a bit of the French way of life that I knew in my childhood, and which is disappearing rapidly throughout France. You see this gentle way of life?
You can hear all the sounds. The sounds are clear. We're connected with nature a bit here, you know, exactly.
Exactly, birdsong. I think 2 people passed by. We've been here 30 minutes. We saw 2 workers go by here. Yes, yes, otherwise it's super calm, super peaceful.
That's the Gers for you.
This is France?
At its core,
At its core. This is France at its core, by default. The default France that was handed down to us. This is it.
there you go. No more, no less, you know, yeah.
No tension, no dirty looks, no fighting over a cigarette. I miss that. I miss it a lot. Come on, let's keep going. So people often tell me, yeah, you only cover crime stories about people from immigrant backgrounds. But that's not true. And here's the proof. The man involved in this case is named Jerome, I think. It's Jerome Barrett here. So not from an immigrant background, at least not recent or non-European immigration. And yet, I'm covering this story. So the point isn't at all to say that all news stories are related to immigration. Not at all. That's not the idea. It's simply that actually what's really annoying is that obviously we have disturbed people in France, French and native French. And that's the reason why many French people, and more of them, think that we shouldn't add to the problem. That's the idea. Let's address our current nationals, especially those causing trouble, and punish them severely without bringing in more from elsewhere. That's the main point. It's simple. It's not racist. It's just common sense. And it's shared by the whole world. Everyone thinks like that. This idea is normal. It's not an extreme idea. What's extreme is defending the opposite position, saying, no, but actually we're letting people from all over the world come in without any filter, and they're only coming for that. That's what's extreme. That puts the fundamental structures of society at risk. Like here, for example, the justice system, which is buckling under the weight of offenses and can't handle all the cases, letting too many things go, and that puts the population at risk as a result. That's my point, actually. And now, thinking about it, no matter how I look at this idea, I don't see where the racism is. There's no racism in that. It's a common sense idea that should be imposed on the state for the nation's greater good. That's all. There you go. Those who love France, those who care about our interests, should think like that, in my opinion. And we should consider the opposing view as marginal and extremist, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, in any case, it's up for debate. In any case, we shouldn't ban the debate on this specific issue because it's too crucial. That's it. We shouldn't dismiss those who think like me. Those who agree with me shouldn't feel ashamed or disqualify themselves. That's my view, and I stand by it. I know it's hard to say, and people are afraid. By the way, Clément, who's with me, and Vincent Lapierre aren't concerned.
Well, I think the same thing, you know, it's just common sense.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it or anything, you know, it's proof. People complain that the justice system is overloaded, but it's with stupid cases. Indeed, a case about someone smoking a joint shouldn't be prioritized over a complaint, for example, you know. And it's not even me saying it, it's all over the media. Yesterday, the magistrates and everyone are complaining because Darmanin said that before July 14th they have to review the 70,000 complaints. It's impossible. Everyone says it's impossible to do that before July 14th, and people say they don't have the resources, they can't do it. They just can't do it. But in the end, we're not the problem, us little citizens. It's higher up.
It's a structural issue caused by political decisions leading us to a dead end. And if we're in a democracy, we have the right to challenge the choices that are made. No choice is mandatory. No one has the right to impose a choice on us morally by telling us, if you don't accept these choices that were made 30 or 40 years ago, especially regarding immigration, because that's the sensitive point, and we need to address that wound. Well, if you challenge those choices, you're outside of humanity, you're a right-wing extremist, you're a fascist, and they compare us to Hitler. And even, why not, to invasions from I don't know what era. But I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's normal and democratic to challenge decisions, otherwise it's not a democracy. Everyone can share their opinion. Otherwise we should put it in the constitution. And as some Macronist deputies or ministers want to do, it's forbidden to question the choices made by the Macron camp, especially regarding immigration, and anyone who challenges them is outside the law. Fine, but that's not really democracy anymore. All the decisions made by our leaders must be open to challenge freely. That's the idea I have of democracy and liberalism, actually, of liberal democracies as we practice them in Western Europe. And yet I'm the one who's called a fascist. You see the craziness and the reversal. So I say this to everyone watching me. Don't be afraid. Our ideas are normal. If you go to China, the ideas you defend, the ones you have in mind, they're normal. That's it. That's normal. If you go to Japan, let's not even talk about it. You're considered left-wing. You go even to South America, even to Africa, to the Maghreb or the United States, to Australia, wherever you go, these ideas are normal. That's it. You're actually centrists. You are centrists. The center consists of people who share our views. It's just normal and common sense. It's even practically ordinary. Simply because of this very virulent far left that has had cultural dominance over France for decades, from their moral pedestals, they make us believe that we are outcasts, that we should be ashamed, that we should hide. No, 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 no. This shame needs to change sides. In my opinion, that's it. That's my position. Well,
Force the issue.
there...
This case is just one more case. How many cases like this are there? Cases we don't know about, cases that will never be solved, parents who are left in doubt. There are too many cases like this, even in our small regions or whatever. There are too many things. Resources need to be put elsewhere, not where they shouldn't be.
Of course. Because the police are overloaded, that's a fact. Because the justice system is overloaded, that's a fact. Because choices were made beforehand that caused these two fundamental institutions of civil peace and the proper functioning of the republic and democracy to be overloaded because of those choices. That's it. For me, that's the explanation. That's all. One of the explanations.
At the top of this street is the town hall, which is basically the main square.
All right, we're going to check out the main square of Florence.
That's where you'll find many bars and shops.
Florence is such a beautiful name for a city. My God, very evocative. It sounds good, very poetic.
Here too, the Gers is steeped in history. I'm not a historian, I don't know it inside and out, but I know there's so much history here too, like everywhere in France. But here, you can see it in the architecture, you can see it in the style a little bit, it's different. You can tell it still has that old-time feel. Even the buildings and everything, it feels like you're still a bit immersed in the past.
Yes, of course, yeah. Look at those buildings there. Look at those shutters. I'd say those shutters are way older than you, Thomas, by far. You see, it's beautiful, it's rooted here. It's rooted.
You can see that it has a soul, a little bit.
Of course it has a soul here. And I know the name of that soul. Its name is France. Look at these arches, Thomas. Look at what our ancestors made. Did you see that? Wow, that's beautiful. I seek beauty like a thirsty man in a desert. Fortunately, it's everywhere in France. I'm not often thirsty. Look. Look at the building in the center. You see, you have the center of a small provincial town, and some guys said to themselves 2 centuries ago, 3 centuries ago, probably 2 centuries, hey, let's build this right there in the middle. And we're not going to build a cube, we're going to build something with arches. It feels like we're in the cave in The Lord of the Rings, the dwarves' cave. Moria, look. There's a bit of a Moria vibe. That's true, yes, with the aisles and steps, of course. But as Gandalf says, let's shed a little light. It's bright and sublime with all the arches and columns. Look, this is the Moria of Gus. I'd really like to know how old this building is because I wouldn't want to say something stupid, So, this is the Fleurance Market Hall and Town Hall, located in the center of Place de la République. It's a market hall on the ground floor, under the large arches, and the town hall is upstairs. Wow, that's it.
There's an elevator and everything. Inside, you wouldn't think so.
The town hall is upstairs. So, this type of construction is characteristic of the Bastides in the southwest, those new towns founded in the 18th and 19th centuries, following a strict geometric plan designed to promote trade. Otherwise, Florence was founded in 1272 by Géraud de Casaubon, Count of Giors, and Eustache de Beaumarchais, representative of the King of France. So, the building you see today is not medieval. Yeah, that's right, 18th and 19th century. Sublime. Look, even the smallest fountain there, made of wrought iron, is practically a work of art. And look, Thomas, there, the church, how beautiful it is. The Romanesque church, obviously. Look at the town hall inside the arcades. It's funny and well done, huh? It has style, it's well thought out. And then obviously there's a freshness under these arcades. It was designed for that, I suppose. The city's coat of arms, look, fleur-de-lis, blue and white. Sublime. It makes you dizzy. Wow, my God. It's the oldest and most prestigious monument in the city. It's the only major survivor from the medieval founding of the Bastille of Florence. A church that was born with the city in 1272. What we're looking at is 800 years old. Construction began around 1274. A huge church for this small town. Can you imagine? There were just a few dozen inhabitants. The town wasn't even founded yet, and they had already built this church, or at least they had already planned to build it. 800 years, 8 centuries. Let's go, Thomas.
Let's take a chance and shine a light. There's a tribute to Lyhanna, but no portrait. Lord, we entrust Lyhanna, her parents and her family, all her loved ones and those who mourn her to you.
Support those who are going through hardship.
Cyril Cason, Holy Virgin Mary, help of the afflicted, pray for us. Our little darling, my God.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I'm writing a report on Lyhanna. What did you think? How did you experience the story? Well,
Listen, it was something very, how should I say, painful. Things like that hurt. I have children, they're grown up, but I imagine being in the parents' place. And then, well, I think that people like that should be monitored a bit more, you know? I mean, we shouldn't just leave them out there like that. Because a child is important.
there were failures here, especially on the part of the justice system.
Well, I think a little bit everywhere. A little bit everywhere. Well, I don't mean that it necessarily has to be within the gendarmerie, because they already have a lot to do. There aren't always many of them in the brigades. We have to say it like it is. But I think that, yes, indeed, there were shortcomings, yes. Things that weren't done on time or done properly. So it's a very, very sad case. And I hope that in the future, well, we'll pay a little more attention to all these children, to all those pedophiles who, unfortunately, you have to keep an eye on them. You have to... I personally support the death penalty. I'm telling you honestly. And I'm not the only one. I don't think I'm the only one.
Far from it.
Yes, taking a life means you pay with your own. That's it.
Do you think things in France tend to get worse from that point of view, or are they getting better? No.
It's getting worse from all sides, right? In every way, France is not what it used to be. You know, I was born in the 1950s. Well, back in the 50s and later when I was a teenager, a bit older, well, I saw things. But now, in recent years, I think that in the last 10 years, everything has gone off the rails and no one knows how or why. Everything just goes any which way.
How long have you been here? Me?
I've been living in the Gers for 20 years, and I think that, well, Gers is still a, yes, it's a, how should I say, a fairly preserved department. Preserved, but it's starting to. You don't always realize things like that are right near where we live. That's it. But it's happening everywhere, not only in Gers.
In my opinion, yes.
And courage to you, ma'am. Courage to all of us, actually.
Well, yes, and to you too.
Yes, he has the info. Trust me, for everyone.
I believe everyone. I think we often hear speeches like the one we just heard here.
Yes, yes, yes. People are fed up.
Well, I said the same thing, really. I said yes.
Of course, of course.
The woman repeated what I said, and I don't see a problem with it.
Yes. No, people have had enough indeed. A lot of people have had enough, actually, you know. It's this complex.
Yeah, it's this complex. There, the swimming pool with water, it's not really a very nice pool, to be honest. All right, I think so. Anyway, you can see the lake and the playground there. It's truly a little paradise.
Look, the children's playground. So here, actually, in this area, which is still a pretty new area, there are cameras. I can see some over there. So from here, there are cameras, yeah? I checked earlier, you know. I didn't see any in the city center, but there might be some.
I couldn't say off the top of my head, but no, I think there are still some. Over there, you can see that's an exit. Over there, there's a big avenue. There's an avenue. So it kind of covers 3 points anyway. Main roads.
You know, that's it. The main roads meet here. Okay. Hello, ma'am. I'm doing a little report on little Lyhanna. Lyhanna, how did you go through this case?
Not very well, because I have little grandchildren that age, and it's not easy, of course.
Here you go. Are you being more careful now? No.
I was always careful. And when I would bring the little one to her, all that, no, I'm always careful. It's sad, well, because she's not here anymore, poor thing.
You can't imagine the pain. My God.
It must be hard, you know. Maybe unbearable. We can't put ourselves in other people's shoes. It's not possible.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I send you my love.
Take care of yourself and your loved ones.
Yes, especially yes. There you go. That's what people, I think, should pay more attention to. Honestly, I think there's too much carelessness. We let 10-year-old kids out in the streets. They do whatever they want. And that's it. I think there's something missing. There's something lacking, you know. And then
As for the justice system, people are being let go.
they let.
Reports, complaints.
What happened there is incomprehensible. If this gentleman had been questioned, the little girl would still be here. Because it's incomprehensible that with all the complaints he had, nothing came of it. It's impossible, you know. The justice system really needs to be reviewed. Honestly, it's really unfortunate, you know.
The middle school is over there. The little girl was found over there. So probably, actually, they took this roundabout, but only to head over there. She went that way.
Yeah, something like that. Because I don't see the point of going over there. And over there, you just go out, basically. So I don't see what he could have done over there. After all roads lead to Rome. So I mean, you can take one route and end up over there.
It's less direct.
That's it. And if what happened did happen, it was done within an hour.
What? Yes, because, so 3 o'clock p.m. Lyhanna disappeared, yeah?
That's it.
And he is seen going to pick up his daughter at 5:30 p.m., right? Yeah.
Around that time, maybe even a bit earlier, I don't remember. Yeah, it's around that time anyway. Anyway, I know the camera here caught him around 3 p.m. or so, 3:05 p.m. or something like that. All right. That means for her, it was like 5 minutes after he picked her up, so, all right.
He picks up his daughter from school around 5 p.m.
5:30 p.m. or around then. I don't recall the exact time, but it wasn't much later. But for sure, everything that was done, that's why people estimated overall how much time it would take if you made a round trip, what area that could cover. That's how they organized the searches, I think. Those were the areas. Of course, there were hunters, people on horseback. I mean, they used every possible resource and so on. But yeah, obviously he didn't get very far, as proof shows. So that's it.
All right, we're now driving to the silo where Lyhanna was found, 15 kilometers away. We'll be right back. Thanks to Editions Phoenix for their trust. Remember, Father's Day is coming soon and there are promotions on their website. 40 euros for the History and Antiquities collection, 60 euros for collector's editions. Click the link in the comments or the key point in the description. Shipping with Mondial Relay is just 1 cent, so now's the time. We're finishing this report. Let's go. Okay, we've just arrived. There are some media here. Flowers, and the famous silo where the little girl was found. How long after the disappearance? 5 days? 6 days? 6 days, right? That's it. And under what circumstances was she found? So,
from what I saw, etc. And what you don't see much in the media is that it was a man, certainly, who must have been passing by on the road, or at least he said he was passing by. Because that's actually a silo, and it still belongs to a company, but it seemed unused. People even called saying they had worked there. Any information was valuable. So it's a man who was actually passing by on the road, and at a certain time, I don't remember exactly, he said he saw a flock of birds hovering actually, so he went on his way, and later in the day, he passed by again and said he still saw that flock of birds hovering. So that's when he notified the police because he must have thought something strange was going on. And that's when they made the discovery that very evening.
Thanks to that flock of birds. Flock of Gascony. Wind, Sand and Stars. That's the name of a novel by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, Land of Men. It's a very beautiful novel about his airplane journeys in South America with the airmail service. He opened airmail routes, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Okay, I admit.
I know.
Some crazy adventurers, huh? Yeah. Land of Men. I remember that book left a mark on me. I recommend you read it. You have to read it. You have to read it. We need to connect with who we are. It's a lot.
But social media has taken over.
Yes, there is social media, of course. And there are flowers. There are flowers. Lyhanna. Peace and justice. I am Lyhanna. My God.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, obviously. Where no one can see, there isn't a house anywhere around here. It's like that, a bit hilly, it's kind of in a dip, you see. That's it. Even from the road, it's hard to see. Well,
You can't see it until you're right in front of it.
you will stay in our lives. We're thinking of you. We support you. We support your mother. We support your father. We love you. We will never forget you. Amen. And so the man who killed Lyhanna went through there, broke down this door. She came in through there, maybe. In any case, there's a seal. There's a seal here, right there. So about the discovery of the body, that's what I just said. Indeed, there are two elements that converge. Then there's what Clément said earlier. A passerby went by once and saw birds hovering above the silo, then passed by a second time. He saw them again. He thought about it. After getting home, he called the police to report the clue. And there's a second point, which is that, yes, the presumed innocent worked here for some time, and that was reported to the police. So these two factors led to little Lyhanna being searched for here.
Actually, here it's forced, down there on the right.
Well, on the left. Actually, here it's forced. Yeah, we don't know if it's him because the suspect, the building, it could have been visited, that's it, by someone else.
That's it. So the assumption, well, he didn't look that big, so I don't know how he could get through there, if that's supposedly what they're saying. But, well...
Why would he bother breaking a door to get into a silo when he might have had the keys since he worked here? It's just a hypothesis. But breaking that, plus there's the little... It's the window that's vibrating, look, with the wind. It makes a hell of a noise. Anyway, this building creaks and it adds to its gloomy atmosphere. No, that's where the seals are. He entered there. He came in through there?
Came in 3,000 solutions.
It's the simplest and most obvious. My God. Justice for Lyhanna, because there's also a complaint, I remember, that was filed once here first, until the case came right over to Lyhanna.
Recognized. A complaint as well, I remember, that was filed anonymously at first, until the case broke out and her daughter would have cross-checked. What?
No, it's just that this story, it's shocking, and rightly so, and it reveals something about our society. It speaks to us, but that's all actually, Pantoufle. That's all. It's not complicated, really. But the area is quiet, though, yes.
The area is quiet, but appearances can be deceiving.